This week's crazy location, I got a little secret for you.
I gotta let you in on a little secret.
You may not known about. And man, this is a daily. And it's hot this week. I'm in Tidioute, PA, right by the mighty Allegheny River. And a little hidden secret that maybe you didn't know about, or maybe you did. But this hill right here has a little historical hidden fact to it. Do you want to hear it?
Warning! This vlog is not intended for my younger viewers. There may be some words not suitable for young ears. Yes, it is historical and a crazy fact about Babylon Hill in Tidioute, Pennsylvania. But I'm just a local idiot who films that kind of stuff because, well, I'm crazy.
Babylon Hill. Yes, it is steep. It is humid. It is muggy. But the vlog's got to be done. If I said the name Benedict Hagen, would you know who I'm talking about? No? Probably not. But how about if I said the name Ben Hogan? And no, I don't mean the legendary golfer Ben Hogan. I mean the oil boom legend Ben Hogan. Okay, we're all adults here. Do you want to hear a crazy hidden fact about Babylon Hill and beautiful Tidioute, Pennsylvania? Sure you do. Tidioute, PA. Small, quiet, beautiful. But there was a wicked man here who lived here. He had two businesses here, and they weren't on the nice side of businesses, let's just say. Let me get you up to speed on who Benedict Hagen is, aka Ben Hogan. Was an immigrant from Germany, came to America in 1852. He was a bad dude.
And that's no lie. Now we know.
And knowing is half the battle.
By the age of 17, this guy right here, Ben Hogan, Benedict Hagen, was in the pokey for burglary. It is 98 degrees out, and I'm not complaining. I'll sweat all day. But anyway, Ben Hogan was a self-proclaimed, and everybody has an alias. I mean, I have an alias. I'm old school Joe, but everybody knows me as Joe. But this dude self-proclaimed himself as the wickedest man in the world. So he propped himself up to be, well, a bad dude. Wait till the end of the story to see what happens to the bad dude. Let me tell you, if this hill could talk, it could tell you stories. But I will get there. Huh, wonder what that was. If you're from Pennsylvania and you know the history on the oil boom towns that have come and gone, there was characters and books, the history books in Pennsylvania here. And Ben Hogan was one of the infamous people they write about in the oil boom days of Pennsylvania. Little fun fact before I move on. This hill is, the more and more I look at this hill, it's crazy. Ben Hogan was in the Confederate Army and the Union Army. How do you say what? He was a spy. He was jumping sides, making money off killing people. He was bounty jumping. That's how he made his money. Plus, he was a card shark at 3 Card Monte. Yeah, the guy didn't really have a normal job in his life. Mind you, Ben Hogan didn't know how to read, write, or he didn't even know any letters of the alphabet. How'd this guy get so far in life? I'm gonna tell you. You know how life don't make sense sometimes? I'm not saying this don't make no sense, don't get me wrong. But he got busted for jumping sides, bounty jumping, making money off killing soldiers from the Union and the Confederate. He was sentenced to death for crimes against the government. Abraham Lincoln stepped in and pardoned this guy. Abraham Lincoln said, the wisest and the best men make blunders too. Now remember this in the story, because the dude's just no good. But that saved this guy. I'm telling you, wait till the end of the story to find out what happens to the guy who just doesn't give you know what. This is where Pennsylvania begins. 1865, you come to Pit Hole City. He worked there as a bouncer and a boxing trainer. I'm focusing on the hill because you're gonna see why this hill plays a big part of Ben's life. And the card shark that he is, he let all the bar owners know, hey, you let me run the card table, I'll make major profits for you. And he did for all the bars in Pit Hole City. What's that show on TV? The poker game, the poker tournament where they win millions of dollars? He probably would have been a good one on that show. He never got in the oil business, but he loved taking the oil man's money in a card game. This guy had a totally business mind, but no school smarts, all street smarts. Holy cow, it's hot. And you know too, business minded, I mean, you can venture anywhere where you see money being made. You pretty much go into the business. And did you know Petroleum Center had 3 blocks of whorehouses? Yeah, that's what Ben thought. I know, I never say that word ever, but I have to say it in this vlog. That's why I put the little disclaimer up. But there was 3 blocks of brothels up. And Ben going around to the people, meeting the ladies of the night. Met a lady, her name was the queen of the brothels. Her name, French Kate. You're sick. Here's the deal, like any other good criminal, they wore their welcome out in Pit Hole Petroleum Center. Him and his lover, French Kate, the queen of the brothels, decided to make a new start. And well, they decided to start right here in the small, beautiful, quiet town of Tidioute. They thought, what does this place not have that we can supply a service to? You know where I'm going with that, right? Okay, here we go. I am standing on the trail right beside Babylon Hill. This is where Ben and Kate built a brothel and a dance hall up on this hill. Now they are gone now. Many stories that I did read, many of them say it was long gone years ago. But one story I did read said somebody did build a house on top of Ben Hogan's whorehouse. Kept the foundation, but they put a house on it. That's the only story I read that said that. I don't know it. I'm not Wikipedia, people. I don't know if that's a fact or not. It was all trimmed down here. And you could see, there's the road right there. You're passing by. As you can see from the road, coming around the curve, if there was no trees there, you could easily see a house and a dance hall sitting here. Basically way before the water plant was here. But back there, they were jamming. The stories people told from back in the day said on any given day, when you floated by on your horse and buggy, there was nude women gathering through the yard, sunbathing, doing other stuff. It happened here on Babylon Hill in Tidioute, PA. You can't. These oil boom stories, they are rich in history, let's just say that. But for 9 months, Ben and Kate, that hill was a gaggle of nothing but craziness. You know, Tidioute is a nice, quiet, peaceful town. And back in the day, the story said it was the same way. And when Ben and his friend moved in, kind of rubbed the town the wrong way. After 9 months, they made $27,000. Ben took off to New York to double his profit from the FILTH house, I should say. He lost it all in a card game. That basically ruined the couple's relationship. She was so mad at him, she took a shotgun, shot at him, and blew half of his ear off. Telling you, this guy, he just kept getting back on the horse. Man, this place is beautiful out here. But I'm standing here in the Allegheny because, well, Ben hooked up with another worker. You know what I mean by worker. Her name kitty. Somebody's excited. This is what the cute couple did. They bought an old river. People and their crazy ideas. They bought an old river steamer. They remodeled it. And they named it Ben's Floating Palace of Pleasure. And they stuck it in the Allegheny. And they floated the old river steamer up and down the Allegheny because they didn't have a liquor license. And it was a brothel. And what they would do to not get caught, they just stream back and forth down the Allegheny. But every day at 5 o'clock, Ben would drop anchor in the Allegheny, right in the middle, and have the boys swim out or rowboat out, give them a fee to sit on the dock, because every day at 5 o'clock, it was bath time for the ladies. And if you gave them an extra $2, you could help wash the ladies. Oh, Allegheny. Ben's floating disease was 125 feet long and 30 feet wide. Nothing but a floating barge of syphilis and gonorrhea. Can you imagine? I mean, what was the healthcare back then? I mean, what, would you just put some ointment on it, or I don't... All right, I'm done. I'll stop there.
So you're telling me there's a chance? Yeah!
What I'm about to tell you was the best thing that ever happened to Ben Hogan. He sent Kitty Bowers, to hire more prostitutes for the floating disease barge. She took off on him with a bartender, used the money that Ben gave her to pay for her honeymoon. But this, like I said, things in life happen for a reason. The guy goes to Chicago, Illinois in 1878. He accidentally walks into a church revival. Not knowing what it was, he thought it was something else. And by sheer miracle, Ben Hogan, aka Benedict Hagen, accepted God in his life. Talk about a desolate ride. It's nothing but aspens and asphalt.
This is an aspen. You can tell that it's an aspen tree because of the way it is.
Oh man, that feels good. Thank you. Oh yes. You know, these stories sometimes, they get a little crazy sometimes, and this one was a risky one for me to do. But I thought, you know, it'd be cool for people to know what the deal is on that hill. And a lot of people, I don't think, didn't know about this story at all. And all of a sudden, life stops you, and you're in the opposite direction of what you were doing. That's what happened in this guy's case. You know, this guy married a missionary worker and started a missionary in Chicago. He died in 1916. Someday, if I ever get over to Chicago, Illinois, I will find this guy's grave and go visit it. Just cause I did a vlog on the guy. But I gotta tell you, thank you guys from the bottom of my heart who buy stuff from my store downstairs and link below. All my hats, my t-shirts, all the good stuff I sell down there. Very honored that you guys buy stuff from there. Very cool. But I got to also give a shout out to Monday. I got 2 historical books in the mail from a subscriber of mine. Thank you, Jody. They are going in the Old School Joe studio right here. Yes. Very cool of you guys to send me stuff. And these books will be well used. Let me tell you, I already looked through them and there's stuff in there I want to do. But you may see these books every week on the desk of where I always do the outro. Yes. Boom. From one subscriber's house to my desk every week. So you never miss the books because I'm going to use them and you can see them every week. Crazy, right? But I got to tell you, I only had one day to film this week, which was crazy to me. Life was crazy this week in itself. It's just one of them weeks where I really didn't have a lot of time to do anything. I thought to myself, let's go do Babylon Hill. I've touched on this subject before, but I really never went into detail about it. There's an Airbnb up there now, and you could rent it out. So if you want to stay on Babylon Hill, which is kind of crazy, nice. You can see it in the video when I'm filming. There's a wall of glass. Yeah, it's a nice Airbnb. So if you ever go on vacation, hit Tidioute, stay on Babylon Hill. That's where I did the vlog at. Crazy. But those were the days.
Those were the days, my friend.
When I went to Babylon Hill, told the crazy story of a crazy man whose life turned around to be okay. But like I said, one day to film this week, which is nuts to me, but I have those kind of weeks. I work a full-time job. My life gets crazy. My world is crazy sometimes, but I got the story out this week. And thank you everybody who watches me. If you haven't subscribed yet, give me a like, give me a subscribe, because you never know what I'll do next week. It's just how I am. I'm all over the place, but it's always something crazy, because I'm crazy. See you next Monday at 6. This is a daily.